All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Blessings to everybody. In the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed, as Bitcoin is not doing very much. We're going to talk about where we're currently finding support right now. We're going to be talking about whether or not this is time to buy the dip, as we are still maintaining these higher lows within the range. Guys, make sure to like the video, because if we can get 1,000 likes before the first 30 minutes of the stream, we will absolutely be giving away 1,000 USDT. And it is absolutely worth liking and subscribing to the channel, because we are well on our way to 200,000 subscribers, as you can see in the video that I made warning everybody about the ETF news, how it was likely we were going to get a move into the golden pocket and then a rejection. The short setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord right into that golden pocket. Currently the short trade that I am in right now from 48,640. I took this trade live during the New York Open live stream that we do in the Casper Crew Discord. And guys, if you want to join the community, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com to join the best trading community in the world. We also have a lot of educational content on here. And guys, I'm also currently trading Bitcoin and altcoins on ZoomX. I'm trading on MEXC, and I'm trading on BingX. Links in the description if you're interested in any of those things, if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins. Let's see who we have in the chat today. I'm going to talk about the long trade I'm in right now, how I got into it. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to Crypto Crank. Subscribe and like. You're going to need this channel headed into the bull run. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to Astro. Shout out to Foodie ASMR Mukbang. Shout out to Aaron G. Shout out to Splashfire Films. Shout out to Kevin Macaloon. I've been on a Jason Casper watching spree lately. My wife is complaining I'm starting to stink like potatoes. Hey, that's the way to do it, man. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Lloyd, who longed 42K. I also did long 42K, but I FOMO'd out of it, and I actually got back into another long. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to 12 Big Doll. He says LOL, LOL, LOL. Shout out to Tyron. Shout out to Aaron G. Shout out to GBK and Pasternak88. Shout out to Ego Samuel Novias. He says T-Pad great airdrops. Don't know what that is, but it sounds kind of scammy. Shout out to Crypto Crank. I guess you guys are talking about other channels. Cool. All right, we got a lot of people in the house. Y'all, may the Lord lead and guide all of us. Amen. May the Lord lead and guide all of us. Shout out to Sardar from Pakistan. Shout out to Justin Waters. Looks like Bitcoin just hit $43,000 as we are currently coming up to the top of our local range here, guys. And the question today is this a buy the dip moment? Is this a buy the dip kind of moment? All right. We are going to be getting into this analysis right now. So, first of all, let's look at what has happened here locally. Okay? Let's look at what has happened here locally real quick, because why are we getting a bounce from this area? Now, when we got the big drop down here on Friday, all right, you guys saw the stream on Friday. I'm sure a lot of you did. A few interesting things about that drop. First of all, when we zoom out here on the daily time frame, one thing I do want to point out locally, and we've been talking about this for the past few days, is that unless the Bitcoin price loses $40,000, we are still, objectively speaking, in bullish market structure. Because on the daily time frame, we will not make a lower low unless we actually come below $40,000, and then we could potentially look for a lower high and another lower low. But right now, we are still holding support on these this trend line, basically. Right, besides this whoopsie daisy right here, we are still holding support on this trend line. Okay, so technically speaking, market structure has not flipped bearish on these higher term time frames like the daily. Now, when we got that move down on Friday, we started to consolidate in a symmetrical triangle. A symmetrical triangle. We were making lower highs and we were making higher lows. Shout out to my man for the super chat, by the way. A huge shout out to, I hope I can say this almost correctly, Shaitan Rayu. Thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you. We were forming this triangle here. Okay, now whenever, especially on a weekend, and it is still a weekend in a sense because it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in the United States, and so the New York Stock Exchange is not open. Okay, whenever you start to form a triangle like this on a weekend, you can expect some trickery to happen. Okay, now look at how the market cipher B was looking as we were trading in this triangle. It looked like we were printing some nice trigger waves down here, right? We were printing some nice big green bottoms right here, 1, 2 of them. And we were also watching this money flow getting more and more skinny toward the zero line. Okay, now when you see a triangle like this and money flow and momentum waves looking like this, your immediate thought should be, we're going to get a fake out to the downside and then a bounce. Why should you think that? Because the market cipher is bullish, okay? But the market makers are not going to let you long a symmetrical triangle that easy. No, they're going to wait for everybody to get into their longs in here because they know the indicator looks bullish too, right? They know the RSIs are looking bullish. They know market cipher looks bullish. They want to wait until everybody loads up their long trades and has their position like this, right? They're long, stop loss, you know, under the lows, and then they're probably going to target these highs, right? This is what they know everybody's doing, okay? So what should we be doing? We should be thinking, aha, we have a perfect scenario for a fake out to the downside of this triangle and then a move to the upside, right? So in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, that's exactly what we were looking for, right? So on Sunday, I was looking at this for a weekend scalp long, all right? I wanted to basically take out the lows of that triangle because market cipher B was looking bullish and then get a move back to the upside here, right? And there were two potential things that I wanted to see. I wanted to see us, goji berries are a nightshade, so be careful. Shout out to Big Butts 28, thanks for reminding me. Take the lows of the triangle into that golden pocket with bull divs, looking for a bounce. If we don't get that, I'll look to long the 786, all right? We got that first bounce from the golden pocket. Beautiful, 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 right? But then we came down toward that 786, okay? So we got the first bounce from the golden pocket. We hit that early resistance. But then look at this. We came back down and we hit the 786. So if we pull our fib from the low to the high, you can see we did get one bounce from the golden pocket here, but then we wicked down lower into that 786. Now, whenever you see a pattern like this forming with bullish market cipher, and it seems like a bullish pattern because you can see that you know the money flow is getting higher, the momentum waves are getting higher. You expect a breakout, but remember, the market maker, the whales, whatever, they want to wreck everybody. So it's more probable that yes, these bullish lines will play out after a stop hunt. And if you see a low and then a high like this, the place you should be looking for that trade is right in between the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 786. okay? That is why we were looking for the move to happen from the golden pocket and the 786, right? This scenario right here, right? The 786 is pretty much my last resort, okay? So shout out to the Casper crew. I don't know if a lot of people got into this trade or not, because I haven't been trading much over the weekend. I've been like on my mobile. All right, last week, besides the 2 trades that you guys know I'm in, my swing trades, my other day trades, you know, I took 2 losses last week. Up for the week, 13%. You know that you cannot be upset about that, right? It's been a good last week of trading. I'm excited to get into this week of trading right now, and we currently are coming up now, getting a little bit of a bounce. So I want to talk about what I think is going to happen here, because it is very important. All right, it is very important. Oh, one more thing I should say, right? I longed the 786. But when we got this move down, I actually just closed out that trade. I hit a TP1 here, and then I closed out the rest of the trade as we were getting a dump, because, I don't know, people were getting bearish, and it messed with my head, honestly. But I entered into another long because we did get a bounce from the local Fibonacci golden pocket retest here, right? So I'm currently long right now from this golden pocket, right? So I've taken 3 longs, one from here, one from here. These 2 closed out. Now currently in a long from the golden pocket. And that long is pumping like a crazy woman right now, running through the wilderness with a laundry basket on her head right now. Crazy, wow. Let's see if we can hit some high targets with this one, guys. All right, let's see if we cannot hit some high targets with this one. All right, title of the video says $250,000 long. I've taken out half the position. Now it's $125,000 position. Okay, so shout out to the Casper crew, because we were ready and waiting for the bounce from this level right here. All right, so let's get into the analysis. Where are we looking right now? Well, there's a few things we really need to keep in the back of our minds. By the way, shout out to my man again, Shetan Raju. He says, please check the 1-hour CVD and the 1-hour chart. CVD making a lower low, but the chart making a higher high. Great spot to explain your CVD divergence strategy. Love from India. God bless you, bro. Shout out to everybody from India. All right, you guys are amazing. We got 1,200 people in here. We only have 396 likes. All right, we'll take a look at that CVD as well. Okay, we are hitting into right now actually an area of resistance, taking these highs. Okay, we are hitting into an area of resistance right now. Yeah, basically taking out these highs. Let me check on the lower time frame market cipher here. Okay, the 1 minute. Let's check on the 5 minute real quick. Just got to do some analysis on the fly. It looks like we want to come higher here, guys. It looks like we want to come a bit higher here. Okay, so let's discuss what has happened. First of all, and I went over this yesterday, but we are seeing a pattern here that plays out every single market cycle. All right, we can go back all the way to 2012 and see that the Bitcoin price has established a base, okay, during the bull market. This is the first Bitcoin bull market ever. We established a base of support at $7. We hit the bull market high, we hit the bear market low. Then we get a rally after the bear market low. We rally up back above our base, we hit right into the key fib level, and then we retest our base, and the white line is the halving. So after we retest the base, that is when the halving happens, and boom, off into the bull market. And that is approximately a 53% move to the downside right there before the halving. Then the bull market after that, we hit the bull market all-time high, we hit the bear market low, we get a rally. After establishing our base of support during the bull market, we rally above, right into the Fibonacci golden pocket retest, and then what do you know, we wick right down to retest our base, which is this green line. This base of support that we made over here was resistance during the bear market, flipped now. Then we retest as support right around the halving, boom, off into the bull market, okay? It happened again the last cycle. We topped out $20,000, After creating a zone of support during the bull market, we lost that zone of support. We come back up, reject from the Fibonacci golden pocket. We come back down to test our base right before the halving, and then boom, off to the bull market. Now, our current situation, bull market high, right? Established a base during the bull market. Price came below the base. Now we've broken out and we have just hit into the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. The question is, are we going to now come down and retest our base at $30,000 just before the halving and then enter into the bull market? Well, here's the thing. We cannot know for certain what the price is going to do, but we can look at historical data and ask ourselves, what is most likely? Is this time going to be different than the last 3 times? I don't know. Honestly, I lean more towards we might see a more serious pullback here. We have had a pretty big breakout without any kind of a retest from this very important $30,000 level. And it would make more sense to me that we would come back down to test our base before heading to a new all-time high. This is the pattern that we've seen since the beginning of Bitcoin, okay? So this is something that we need to keep in the back of our minds as we are watching this price action play out. And so because we have such a key level above us and key levels below us, there are some certain criteria that we can use right now to determine whether or not we are going to be expecting Bitcoin to come much lower. So the first key level that we have here is going to be the $40,000 level. As we already said, if we do not put in a low lower than $40,000, the Bitcoin price has still been respecting the uptrend, right? Remember what was happening over here. We saw bearish divergences here. We saw big pullbacks here, big swings here. But every time we made another low, we were maintaining this pattern of higher lows the entire time. And right now, we're seeing something extremely similar, right? We've gotten dumps, bam, 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 but every time we are maintaining higher lows. Okay, so as long as we don't lose 40K, there's no reason to think we cannot see Bitcoin make another high. Now, to the upside, there's one important level of resistance that we must be able to reclaim if we want to see higher. Because right now, on the high time frames, we cannot make a decision based on this price action. We do not have enough data yet. We can enter scalp trades, we can enter scalp longs, like the long that we're in now. We could enter scalp shorts, but as far as like the major direction of Bitcoin, we do not have enough data yet. We could say, based on historical data, the probabilities are higher here than any other point in this uptrend, that this is where we get a major pre-halving pullback. But we do not have enough data yet. Okay, so for me, if we go ahead and pull our Fibonacci from the high to the low right now, we have this $46,000 level right here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just mark it out right around here. This right here is the line in the sand for me, because if we can reclaim this $46,000 level, the chances that we make another high become extremely probable. This is a very high volume node. This is a daily order block right here. This is the Fibonacci golden pocket. And this is the historical area of resistance that we had back at the beginning of January 2024. And so for me right now, if we reject from this level, I'd say the 40K area is more probable than not, okay? So if we reject from this area, I am actually going to become more bearish than I am right now and say, you know what, we've rejected from the golden pocket. It makes most sense that we do get a move back down to the $40,000 level. And from there, it makes even more sense that we continue in a downtrend and eventually now lose the $40,000 level, come down to at least 38,000, and then eventually come down to test our base at about 30,000. Okay, so the two levels for me are 46,000, very, very important. If we cannot reclaim that, I will still be bearish here. And then 40,000, as long as we don't lose that, I will be bullish here. Okay, so all this to say, on the high term time frames, there's not enough data here for us to say what is going to be happening in the future. We need to wait for a lower high to come in, or we need to wait for a lower low to come in to really start to become ultra bearish here. And honestly, for me, 40K, if we lose it, I would expect something like this to happen. Okay, so as we come down to the lower time frames right now, let's kind of assess the situation. We are in fact trading still within the sideways range. So just looking at this here, we are still trading within this range, basically. Okay, yeah, we had a little fake out here, we had a little fake out here, but the context in which we are trading is still between 40K and $45,000, right? So for that reason, as long, and let's go ahead and pull some volume here. Yeah, wow, would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. We front ran that value area low, and right now we are heading up to the high volume node of this range right here. So yeah, we are kind of in the middle of nowhere here. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so if we are going to continue to squeeze up here, we have to remember that this is all weekend price action. So we're clearing all this out now, and then it just makes more sense than not that we would fill. We have a whole bunch of single prints that basically came in right around this area. It makes the most sense to me that we would come up to around that $46,000 zone right here. So I'm actually expecting and holding this long trade for a potential massive short squeeze into the Fibonacci golden pocket. And once we get there, I'm going to be looking to see if we see bearish signs on the chart. All right. So let's not forget that, yeah, we are at macro resistance, but that doesn't mean we cannot get a squeeze to the upside before putting in another low. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Straightway Life. He says 39K CME gap later this week. That is definitely a great thing to be aware of. So let's not forget right now, the CME futures market has two very important gaps right now. Okay, so the CME futures, the Bitcoin futures market, does not trade over the weekend. And so if the Bitcoin price is going to move over the weekend, it is going to leave behind a gap. So we had the big breakout of 31K back here on Friday, December 1st, 2023, and we left behind a gap, right? And more often than not, we see these gaps fill. Okay, now we also left a gap this weekend that will be filled at 43,690. So it looks like we're on our way to fill this gap right here at 43,690. So a probable scenario that we may very well encounter here is the following. The Bitcoin price does get a squeeze up to that $46,000 golden pocket. We put in a lower high. We come back down to fill this gap. We find support around that 38K level, a very key area. We put in a lower high, and then we come lower. Okay, this is just a scenario that we do need to be aware of. All right. Shout out to Aaron G. He says, who will cry? We all hold crypto. Someone in here is crying. Who's the crier? Let's see. Who's our crier in here? Shout out to Divine Hood. Shout out to Joe Potter. Man, we got 1,500 people in here, guys. Let's see if we can't get the likes up. If we can get everyone to like the video in the next 3 minutes, we can give away $1,000. All right? We can give away $1,000. Shout out to FitGenius618. Higher time frames start to look kind of good. Yep, that is true as well. I mean, look at this. I mean, so that's why it's so important to have our lines in the sand, right? We've got ourselves the macros. We've got ourselves the 46K level, and we've got ourselves the $40,000 level, right? There's no need to get overly bearish unless we lose 40K. And we can see that the daily right now could, within the next day or two, give us a green dot below the zero line. Okay. So I'm playing it by ear here, where basically I'm still holding the trades that I've been in, right? I have not closed out my long trades from basically the $40,000 level, right? From this low, okay? I was super dang bullish down here. This is why it's so important to subscribe to the channel, because, you know, I've been making public content on here, being very bullish at these lows, you know, saying I'm extremely bullish. I was putting $500,000 onto Bitcoin longs here, saying, you know, I expect a higher high. I expect us to take out these highs and make a new high. Specifically, I was looking for us to come up to the Fibonacci golden pocket, where we did come up to, right? And then I was making warning videos saying, watch out for that 48,500 level, 48,600 level, because there's a really good chance that we come up to there and we reject and we come down. All right. This was on the day before the ETF news came out. Right. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. You do not want to miss these updates. Right. But yeah, I have not closed out the long trade because, again, we have not changed market structure here. So there's no reason for me to close out this trade yet. All right. Not unless we obviously lose 40K. And you can see I've got my stop loss here at my entry. So, you know, I pretty much have guaranteed a half Bitcoin profit on this trade no matter what. So half Bitcoin profit on the trade no matter what. And if it gets stopped at the entry, I've still got $200,000 on a short trade. And honestly, I've got some low ball take profits on this short trade just in case the high is actually in here. All right. So let's check out the Bitcoin chart right now. Let's see what is happening on these lower term time frames here. I want to check out Market Cipher B. I'm going to go to some of my favorite time frames. Let's go to the 12-minute. So the 12-minute time frame right now on Market Cipher, I would say that it looks like she wants to give us one more push to the upside here. I'd say it looks like she wants to give us one more push to the upside because we can see the money flow is coming out, but the momentum waves are getting higher. So for me, what I really want to see is I would like to see, especially for like a fresh short trade, is I would like to see the Market Cipher B, the 12-minute, getting lower momentum waves and lower money flow as we make another high to some of our key areas of resistance. Right now, I'd still say I expect more upside here. I definitely expect more upside here, especially after everything that's happened right now. Okay, especially at the whole context of this here, I would expect more upside, at least to 43.9. 43.9 would be my next major place where I would be looking for price to hit. Because again, when you have a triangle like this forming over the weekend, right, it's so important to hang on. Yeah, we've got this triangle forming here after a big move to the downside. Lots of shorts coming in, people getting very, very, very fearful, right? As we watched this triangle form right here, we were seeing the money flow get higher. We were seeing the momentum waves get higher, which is a sign, at least in my experience, especially on a weekend, okay? Especially on a weekend where there's low volume and low volatility. It is a sign that we can expect a fake out of the triangle and then a big squeeze to the upside, right? This is exactly what private messages shown live. Shout out to Tom Crown. That's a little embarrassing. This is exactly what we were looking for in the Casper Crew Discord over the weekend. We were looking for that triangle to break down with the Market Cipher getting bullish to bounce from the golden pocket and then the 786. We got our bounce from the golden pocket. We are currently right now getting our bounce from the 786, which is Spanish for the 786. All right. So let's see what happens here. Obviously, you know, I haven't taken too much profit because I would like a squeeze up to this area right here, which is going to give me, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, this is the old trade I was in that's still here, but let's get to the new one. That is a crazy risk reward, honestly. I just longed it, put the wick under the low. That's a 30-to-1 risk reward right there. Let's see if we can't do that, guys. Let's see if we can't do that, guys. Shout out to Tom Crown. All right. Tom Crown's a nice guy. He was going to direct people from his stream to my stream to try and help a brother out, a fellow streamer. All right, so Pineapple Love says Bitcoin is not bouncing. All right, okay. Shout out to Tom Crown. Bro, what is going on, my man? Shout out to We Are Going Down Syndrome. How can you join the server? Why am I not in Crypto Wars? I just, this is gonna sound, lame, but it's just too much. All right, 5 p.m. That's typically where I eat dinner with my family. I go to bed early. My kids go to bed early. Where's Boyan? I wonder if Boyan will join us for the stream here. But yeah, Boyan, he's a real good trader. So this is obviously our local resistance right here. There's a chance this is the high, and then we come for the lows. All right. There is a real chance of this. So if you're just joining the stream, if you're not already long, this is not the time to long, because this is resistance, okay? This is resistance, okay? This is resistance. The time to long was down here. And, yeah, this is now resistance. So let's see how this plays out, all right? Let's see how this plays out. If we come down, I don't know. I'll probably just keep this trade open, because worst case scenario, I make like $1,000 on the trade, okay? And if Bitcoin does come lower to the 40K level, let me show you guys actually where I'm looking to take profits. On the short trade, okay? Don't get mad. Nobody get mad. Nobody get scared or upset, all right? But look, this is potentially going to be a swing trade for me, all right? I've got take profits down to 10K here, set. Why? Because if we lose this level, we're coming to this level. If we don't hold this level, we're coming to this level. If we don't hold this level, it's probable that we come back down and test 20K. And then, if we get a black swan event, capitulation, hey, I'm prepared for it. That's all I'm saying, okay? So yeah, those are the take profits, all right? So shout out to everybody who took this trade. It's a good trade to be in. I didn't even see all the, technically, the lower time frame still looked a little bit more bullish than I wanted to, but I did take it live in the stream because it's the time to trade where you want to be short, you want to hedge yourself at some from key areas of resistance, especially if you have a lot of long trades, which I did, and a lot of Bitcoin on spot, which I do. So if all these TPs get hit, I'll be able to buy probably. I mean, man, if all these TPs get hit on this short trade, I'll be able to buy like 8 or 9 Bitcoin with the profits, which is crazy. So again, I'm not bearish on Bitcoin, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but if we're going to get a drop here, I'll be able to get like 8 Bitcoin on the way down. So that's why I'm potentially looking at some of those levels, right? It's not because I hate Bitcoin, I love Bitcoin. All right, I grow Bitcoin in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Bitcoiner. Shout out to Chris NG. He says Grayscale, to move funds into the ETF, they need to sell Bitcoin first, like Friday. Tomorrow the exchange will open and dump. Maybe possible. Yes. So this is why, again, today is a holiday in America, in the United States. So if we are going to get a squeeze, the places we need to be prepared for our short trades, or at least take profits on longs, is number one, major resistance right now, $46,000. Extremely important level. $46,000, extremely important level. The second place that we need to really be aware of right now is, remember, we are still in the Fibonacci golden pocket. Okay, we are still in the Fibonacci golden pocket. Shout out to the Casper crew. We rejected from the 618, but we did not necessarily, you can't say that we're done being at this area of resistance. I mean, when we look at these higher time frames, like especially if we go, like let's say we go to the monthly time frame, because this is a very high, it's a very, very high time frame level that we're looking at. It's the golden pocket from, shout out to Samuel Novias. He says, you saved me a lot of money and changed my mind about leverage. God bless you, buddy. Man, God bless you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Huge shout out to you. If we're on the monthly time frame here, right? Who's to say that we can't, before this month closes, the month is only half over, who's to say that we can't come up and tap into the 0.65 and then still end up closing, you know? So again, there's time here to determine what is going to happen, right? We have a lot of time. We don't have to FOMO short. And I do have to say this, okay? We are here to make money. We are not here simply to watch our portfolios go up and down. So I sold Bitcoin at $38,000. I made a video about it. I explained why. If you are in profit and your goal here is to make money, please take some dang profits at the Fibonacci Golden Pocket. I just showed you a chart. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's definitely going down, but I just showed you a chart where every single bull market in history comes to the fib level and then retests the base of support before the next bull market, okay? So historically speaking, just based on all the historical data we have here, if we're gonna average out the last 3 bull markets and come up with some kind of statistic, there's a 100% chance that this is going to give us a pretty significant pullback, right? Just based on historical data. It doesn't mean it has to happen now, all right? But historically speaking, 100% of the time, this is the place where we get a pullback, right? 100% of the time in Bitcoin's past, this is where we have gotten a major pullback, all right? 50%-ish. And what do you know? I mean, if we do come down to that level, that's, 40%. That's right on par with everything we've seen in the past. So look, if you're here to make money and you know what you want to use that money for, take profits. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that they don't have a goal, and so they don't take profit, and then they just let the thing go up and down. It's like, unless you, and some people, okay, fine, it's your retirement, whatever. You're not selling until your daughter's 27 years old and you're 27. Okay, fine. But that's not my style. My style, and I always have, since I was in crypto at all, has been to take profit, all right? The only reason I'm able to homestead, the only reason I was able to buy a property and grow food and live off grid is because I sold Bitcoin, right? I could still be hodling my Bitcoin, but I don't, in my mind, I'd rather have tangible stuff. I'd rather have a house and a property and infrastructure, actual things in life, than just to say I have a whole bunch of Bitcoin. And I guess everyone's different, all right? But I'm just telling you guys where I'm coming from right now. All right, so Bitcoin is getting a CDW, a swing failure pattern, a chickens drinking water pattern, from taking the liquidity from the weekend and getting a move down, okay? That is what we're doing right now. So, let's see how this plays out. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Menno. He says longs opening and OI going down. Let's take a look at the order flow chart. It's all about that cheddar cheese. Yeah, Bitcoin is a means to the end. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a means to an end. You know? It's a means to an end. And we can't look at the crypto as an end of itself, right? And everyone has a different mentality. But, you know, the way I look at it is, why do people want money in the first place? So they can have things, right? So don't get short-sighted here. If you're 100% plus in profit, it's silly. I'm going to use the word silly, all right? Silly not to take some profit. You don't even have to take out the whole thing. This is another thing. You don't even have to take out your whole investment. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing. If you're up 100%, that means you've doubled your investment. So you could take out your entire investment and it's as if you never invested, and you still have the same amount of money that you invested in your investment. And I don't know how many times I can say investment in the same sentence. All right, shout out to Divine Hood. Shout out to Wolf. He says, I trade 10x leverage, but put in around 25%, so it gives me a good liquidation. What do I think of that approach? I mean, you got to do what works for you, man. I gave you my approach the last few live streams. All right, so Jeremy just wants money. He doesn't care. Jeremy doesn't care about things. He just wants to have money, and that's it. All right? He don't care. He doesn't want to have anything in life besides money. Cool, man. Cool. I mean, if that's your goal, then great, because that's the thing. You have to have a goal. No matter what your goal is, you got to have one. All right, let's look at the order book. Market type for B looks like we want to come up higher here. Wow. Wow. Okay, so yeesh, man. Okay, so we had about 4 million longs open at that high, and they are underwater, man. We do have trap longs at this high here. That's quite interesting. Basically, big short squeeze along the way up here. Short squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then after all those shorts get squeezed, we have a whole bunch of longs coming in, ruining the party for all of us. Long in the top. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, so look, we've got a bunch of longs who long the top, and they're still open. That's not really a good thing for more upside right now, right? Let's get back to our 6-minute time frame here. Man, I do think the 6-minute time frame looks like she wants a little bit higher here, guys. And I think the 12-minute time frame looks like she wants higher. And I think the 24-minute time frame looks like she wants higher. Look at that money flow crossing to the upside here. It's like not even quite a bearish divergence here. Let's wait and see. I would much rather come up to at least this level right here. And then if we're at that level, I just want that 46,000. Because look, if we reclaim 43.9, then it just makes the most sense that we come back up and fill all this where we have no resistance above us. All right. And a reclaim of 46, I'd say we put in a new high. Reclaim of 46, I say we put in a new high. Shout out to Crypto Crank. We need a whale just to market that bad boy to 44.4 and cash out. Shout out to Armstrong 33. I have all the things from working my whole life. Now I want to keep it all nice. Shout out to Aaron G. We're breaking out, dump. Shout out to Lane Hughes. They're sweeping the highs before tomorrow's New York Open. What highs are you talking about, man? You're talking about 49? Can you imagine if we squeeze up to 49? That would be insane, man. But you know what? Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Why are you even in the crypto of space? You were against it in the first place. Why do you judge a book? I don't know who you're talking to, Kaifi OG. Shout out to Yermiyahu H, he's a whale. Shout out to Pat B. Shout out to Lane Hughes. He says possibly we sweep the highs and go up to 50K. Shout out to Dono Crypto. I didn't see you on the Moon Show, bro. That's crazy. You were on the Moon Show? I'm trying to get on the Moon Show. Man, Carl from the Moon. I hit you up, man. Hit me back, bro. Hit me back. I'm trying to be on the Moon Show. You know? All right. So what do you guys think? All right. Should I need some financial advice. What should I do with this trade? Should I close it? Should I close half? I've already taken a profit. Stop loss is at the entry. Worst case scenario, I close the trade in about a $1,000 profit. All right, we've taken out the local high. What should I do? Let me know in the chat. What should I do? Do I use order blocks? I don't really use them too much, to be honest with you. I don't really use them too much. All right, Prawn says keep it open. All right, it's going to 50K, says Peter. That would be wild, man. If we go to 50K, tomorrow's going to be a wild day. It's going to be a wild stream. Add margin and remove your stop loss. Close half and half. All right. Thank you guys for the financial advice. Shout out to Trading Lifer. Shout out to Mr. Wolf 69. Shout out to Baja. He said let it ride. I am going to let it ride. Alrighty. I am going to let it ride. All right, guys. So that is the long and short of Bitcoin. Pun intended. The two major levels I am looking at right now, 46K and 40K, that will determine how I trade this throughout the rest of the week. A huge shout out to the Casper crew. We were looking for the long from this level. And we are obviously short from the high. Again, guys, if you want to join the community, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. It's the best community in the world. Also, if you want to trade Bitcoin, crypto on the exchanges that I do, ZoomX, BingX, and MEXC, links in the description. I have to head out, y'all, because it's been a really long day for me, and I've got some important non-trading things to do before tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a volatile day. Please be prepared. Please use good risk management. And guys, I do pray that everybody watching and listening is very blessed in Jesus' name, even if you are not religious. May the Lord bless you all. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you're at. And we're going to go live tomorrow, guys, because it's going to be a wild day. So sleep well, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.